You know that feeling in your chest? That heavy frustration when you've tried another manifestation technique and nothing's changed. God, I can still remember those bitterness of those mornings. Waking up to check my bank account, hoping that something had shifted overnight, only to see the same numbers staring back at me. The same problems and the same reality. Just another day, the sound of my own voice repeating affirmations had almost become maddening. I am abundant. I am worthy. Words that felt so hollow, but never actually penetrated my being. But then something clicked. And it wasn't about adding more techniques or trying harder for a fact. It was about a fundamental identity shift that changed everything for me. It changed so rapidly that I got myself out of 6 figures worth of debt. And now I live the life of my dreams. And I keep creating more, and so do my clients. And so I want to show what finally worked for me. And it wasn't another technique to add to your spiritual to-do list, but the energetic state that makes manifestation automatic. You'll understand why you've been feeling that heaviness, that tension in your body when you try to manifest. And we are going to shift that state where you can actually feel the lightness of just who you are, the trueness of who you are. Because once you make this identity shift, you don't just think differently, you experience reality differently through every sense you have. And those senses are going to be amplified even more. And so I'm excited to get to this and give it to you. Oh, but before we dive in, if you are serious about creating your desired reality, then book an alignment call with me and we can dive deeper into this neurological identity shift that makes collapsing your desired reality inevitable. All you have to do is click on the link in the description below. So it's 4 a.m. I'm on my meditation chair, right? And I am raising my frequency to abundance. Meanwhile, my business is on fire. And I'm thinking, is this shit even working? What am I doing? Manifestation, what the? I was the manifestation equivalent of that person at the gym who buys all the fancy workout clothes but never loses weight. All gear, no idea. You know what I'm talking about, right? That feeling when you've watched every YouTube video, every guru, bought every course, and your vision board looks like it was designed by Picasso himself. And yet, you're still not in your desired reality. You're still serving the same old struggles. And I was doing everything right. Gratitude journal, check. Visualization, check. Affirmations, check. I had more routines than a person in a monastery, a monk in a monastery. My morning routine required waking up at 4 a.m. just to fit all those things in. And yet, nothing was changing. Nothing in my reality was changing. Then one day, I had to hit rock bottom. It was when I hit that rock bottom moment. I was sitting outside my car, outside of the grocery store, literally counting change to see if I could afford both the toilet paper and food. That's when it hit me. I had become really good at manifesting one thing. Manifesting more manifestation techniques. I was collecting spiritual practices like Pokemon cards. But I wasn't becoming the person who naturally attracts abundance. It was just technique hopping. And that moment in my car was my wake-up call. The universe was whispering. It wasn't whispering anymore. It was screaming. It was like, bro, you're doing all this wrong. You're doing it all wrong. But let's be honest, I didn't want to hear it. I did not want to hear that. Because accepting that truth meant admitting that I had wasted years of effort, energy, time, and money. It meant facing the possibility that maybe, just maybe, I was the problem. So I did what any reasonable person would do, right? I doubled down on the techniques, more affirmations, more vision boards. But let me tell you something. Techniques are a lazy quick fix because we're too afraid to face ourselves and the real reason to why our life isn't moving as fast as we like it. It's harsh, but that's the reality. I kept thinking, if I had just the right combination of practices, if I just meditated a little longer, if I just visualized harder and felt that emotion. But deep down, I knew something fundamental was missing. And it was one day at the gym, listening to a Dr. Joe podcast, he said something that completely flipped my understanding of manifestation. He said, you don't create abundance, you generate it. I'm like, what? And like most people, my approach to manifestation was like ordering from a menu, right? I'll have one successful business, please. And I'll have one soulmate with that and a beach house, please. But the universe doesn't work like DoorDash. It responds to who you are, not what you want. This presented a simple question that changed everything for me. Are you trying to attract money? Or are you trying to attract freedom? That question sat with me for days. And I realized I had been focusing on external reality of abundance. I was trying to create abundance. Okay? Money, cars, business, the house. When I should have been focusing on the foundations. The true essence of abundance. So I decided to try something crazy. And I stopped all my manifestation practices cold turkey. No more hour-long visualization sessions. No more affirmations in the mirror. No more obsessively checking my bank account. Like refreshing it all the time. Instead, I focused on one thing. Shifting my identity. I asked myself, who would I be? Who would I be if I was already abundant? Instead of trying to get more abundance, I started being more. Who would I be if I was already abundant? How would that person move through the world? What decisions would they make? What energy would they embody? What do they think about themselves? That's a big one. What does my abundant me, how does he think about himself? It wasn't about pretending or fake it till you make it. This was about recognizing that abundance isn't something you chase. It is something that you tune into. And let me tell you, my shift wasn't easy. My mind, or better yet, my old self, that cheeky old self, kept trying to pull me back into my old ways, right? I need more, and I'll become desperate. And then I would get the same results, right? It would whisper to me, are you sure this is working? Are you sure this is working? Everyone else is doing techniques. Maybe you're missing out. More techniques, more frustration, same old reality. But the biggest test came to me when a friend asked me to join her for a healing workshop that cost $500. The old me would have maxed out my credit card faster than they can say abundance mindset. But the new me, he asked a different question. Right? The new me is making new decisions. The question was, would someone who is already abundant need this workshop to become abundant? The answer was clearly a no. No, they wouldn't. So I passed. And I felt weird. Like breaking some spiritual rule. But also, I felt liberated. My allies in this journey was simplicity and presence. My enemies were complexity and pure fixation. Techniques, complicated. But as I continued with identity shift, right, I noticed something strange happening. That heaviness in my chest started disappearing, right? The knot in my stomach when I checked my bank account would ease up. I wasn't changing my external circumstances yet, but I was changing my relationship to them. And that's when I discovered Joe Dispenza's brain and heart coherence, and it would become my daily practice. Because it physically aligned my mind and body, my conscious mind and my subconscious mind into my new identity in a way that I could actually feel it. Right? Here's how it works. all you have to do is close your eyes, place your hand in your beautiful heart, and take slow, deep breaths, okay? And as you breathe in, imagine your breath flowing in and out through the center of your chest, your heart center. Don't force any emotions, but if you can feel gratitude for something simple, the air in your lungs, the ground that you walk on, that's it. Do that until you are completely relaxed. It's not complicated. It's no hour-long meditation. It's no visualizations. You're just bringing awareness to your beautiful heart and breathing with intention. When you do this, something magical happens. Your heart, it synchronizes to its rhythm, and it synchronizes with your brain waves, creating coherence. And in this state, manifestation isn't something you do. It is something that happens to you. You start embodying it. Happens through you. Another thing is it relaxes, this is so important, it relaxes your nervous system and it gets you out of survival, gets you out of stress. Now the real test came about 3 months of this practice, right? I lost a major client, the one paying most of my bills, and the old me would have spiraled into panic or gotten desperate, right? To manifest a new client through visualization, through affirmations. But the new me, who had already shifted in my new identity, he responded differently. He embodied solutions, asking, how do I fix this problem? Instead of how do I fix this problem, I asked, how would somebody who was already abundant respond to this situation? Okay? Now the answer wasn't about doing more. It was about being more present, more creative, more open to possibilities I couldn't even see because I was so fixated on lack. Okay, when you're fixated on the problems, that problem is going to be amplified. So I sat there, heart, brain coherence, breathing through my center of my chest, just trusting in my heart. And here's the wild part. Within a week, not one, but 3 opportunities came my way. Not because I manifested them with a technique, but because I was showing up differently in the world. Okay? I was making different decisions as well. I was having different conversations. I was noticing opportunities that I would have missed before because I was in a state of desperation. I was fixated on the problems. Now, I am embodying solutions and I'm making different decisions. Okay? Now, the reward wasn't my new client or the money that followed. The real reward was the freedom from this fucking manifestation hamster wheel. I no longer needed to spend hours trying to convince the universe that I was worthy of abundance. I was simply being abundance, and then I would draw abundant opportunities to me. And now my external reality was reorganizing itself to match that energy. Okay? That's when manifestation becomes automatic. It's not that you never take action, it's that your actions come from a different place. They come from a place of abundance rather than lack, from creation rather than desperation. Oh, that's when life gets good. And when that happens to you, you stop chasing opportunities. Okay? You stop trying to escape your circumstances. You stop trying to prove your worth and you start embodying it. Now, I'm not going to pretend that this was a one and done transformation. Now, till this day, I still get filled with moments of doubt, and that cheeky old self is never going to fully die. It just gets quieter. But if you give it the opportunity to weasel itself back in there, whenever it has the chance, it will try to seduce you back to your old ways. It'll try to get you frustrated. It'll try to get you desperate. It'll try to get you feeling shame and guilt, back into scarcity thinking. When I catch myself obsessing over numbers or comparing myself to others, I know I just need to do some brain and heart coherence. But the difference now is I've got a compass, a way back to that abundant identity. Okay? All it took was a few minutes of heart brain coherence to reset my energy and remember who I really was. The real transformation came when I realized that this identity shift wasn't about manifesting more money or success. It was about manifesting a different way of being in the world. I was no longer that person who was desperate, okay? Who was manifesting the same results, circumstances, okay? who could only find abundance in any circumstances. And this is when the external changes really started to accelerate. It's like the universe finally saying, finally, you're a new person. You actually are abundant now. I can give you what you've been asking for. Now, you're ready to receive it. Gotta let go of your old self. Within 6 months of making this shift, my income had doubled. But more importantly, the stress had gone away. I was working less but creating more. I was giving more but feeling more abundant. And it wasn't magic, it was alignment, right? Simple shifts. Here's the key takeaway in all this. Manifestation isn't about what you do, but it's about who you are. You can spend years collecting techniques. Please don't. Following gurus, trying to hack the universe. Or you can make one fundamental shift in your identity and watch as everything falls into place. Here's how you start, right? First, identify your current frequency baseline. In other words, what is your current baseline emotion throughout the day? Is it shame? Is it guilt? Is it victim? Do you have pity parties for yourself? Once you've identified it, next, how does your body feel when you think about money, success, or love, whatever it is you're trying to create? That feeling is your current point of attraction. And practice heart-brain coherence daily, right? Hand on heart, breathe slowly, feel gratitude. This isn't another technique. It's a physiological reset that aligns your entire nervous system. And ask yourself, who would I be if I was already abundant? And then be that person. Make decisions from that identity. Move through your world with that energy shift. Simplify your manifestation practice. Complexity is the enemy of successful manifestation. The most powerful shifts come from the simplest practices done consistently. And focus on generating abundance instead of trying to create abundance. This means shifting from how do I get more to how do I become more, right? My practice is so simple these days. 10 minutes of heart coherence and then 45 minutes of meditation. That's it. Because I just love meditating. I am connected to the universal intelligence that just orchestrates things for me, right? And I've just set up my frequency and embodied who I want. When you embody your frequency and wear it first thing in the morning, I carry that for the rest of the day, right? And this might sound too simple in the world that is trying to sell you complexity, but everyone wants to give you the secret technique, right? The hidden key to manifestation, the hack that will change everything overnight. But what if the real secret is that there is no secret? What if it's simply about shifting from the person who needs techniques to manifest abundance to the person who is already abundant? That's the identity shift that changed everything for me. And it can change everything for you too. Think about the ancient people. They did not have these techniques, right? They knew how to change themselves. And if you want to go deeper into this work and want my help in identity shifting, then book an alignment session with me and let's personalize and simplify this journey for you. Just click on the link below. Because you don't need to create abundance. You are abundance, waiting to be remembered.